Yo, so there will be a bounce at some point, even though everyone is like really bearish now. They're finally starting to like realize that weekly and monthly momentum is so weak that prices rolled over 30% from the peak, which is what it's done. Um, and you could get a big bounce, right? Like I'm not saying this is going to happen right now. I think there's no evidence of it right now. Yeah, I can point towards there's a 4-hour bullish divergence here, but does that matter? No, not really, because there was one here and it got invalidated and went lower. It was the same thing like on the way up here, there were bearish divergences and it didn't matter, it just went up only. So I'd put it like this. If we get a higher high, yeah, and we make equal highs against these highs, and then we come down and we get some type of reclaim, then we have incentive to go higher from the equal highs, and we have a reclaim which is repairing the chart. Then you could easily see all of this in a move like this. So this is not what I think is going to happen right now. There's no reason to believe that right now. That could happen, right? But you need at least a higher high, then reject that potential equal highs to engineer more liquidity, as in lure in more shorts to put their stop loss on the other side, and then get a reclaim to repair the chart for a bit more mean reversion. Now, Urban, twitch.tv/SirUrbanBoard, I'm just gonna go over his stream, I'll say, is this guy. And I'm gonna give him credit because like this is not the area that I was talking about, right? So this is the guy right here, Sir Urban Bourbon. Okay, you should follow him if you haven't. He's a really good trader, and he has taught me some things even. Like I've gotten better, right? Ever since I discovered him. I discovered him maybe a year and a half ago or so, and I've gotten better ever since I found him because I understand the context of why things happen and so on. So I'm gonna give him full credit for this. But basically, what he's pointing out is the fact that uh, you have a reclaim right here, right? Which is the last area for the bulls to prove that this is not a quote unquote bear market, right? And I think it's a valid, it's a, that was the wrong word. It's a valid point, right? A fair point to bring up, which is that if you don't go lower than this, I can't really argue with the chart, right? That is technically a high time frame reclaim, and it could go a lot higher. The reason why I don't think it will is because, again, as I pointed out in the beginning of the thread, I made all of these comparisons and so on. It has way too much weekly and monthly momentum loss. And this is how the prior bull market ended. Higher highs, lower highs. Look at how the bear market ended. Lower lows, higher lows. Lower highs, higher highs. Weekly bearish divergences ended the bull market. Weekly bullish divergences ended the bear market. Weekly bearish divergences, I believe, ends this bull market. So even though you could get a bounce, right, and you could sweep a lot of this, it doesn't really change anything on the higher time frames. I think that this level that he's talking about could, not saying it will, but it could lead to a 10 to 15% bounce, but that's about it. I don't think it's gonna mean anything more, right? So like you could sweep all of this. You could. Are you going to? I'm skeptical. Again, there's no higher high. Like what's different to compare to any of these previous lower highs, right? And you didn't want to sweep anything here, and then you went fucking vertical. So like, why can't you do the same thing again, right? The only thing is like we have just gone down in a straight line, yeah, for the past week. This can continue, but at some point there will be mean reversion. But I'm just pointing this out because, in my opinion, right, you could go as high as 101 to 103k, and it changes nothing. It's not bullish. It's just a lower high right here. Like mean reverting up to here could very well happen, and still it's just very bearish. There's nothing bullish about this. Okay. If we start getting reclaims and equal highs, I'm gonna have to pivot my view, right? For potential more upside. And then we take it one step at a time. If it goes up further, right, then it's repairing the chart over and over and over again and gets new incentive to go higher with equal highs and reclaims, right? Then in that case, it's gonna go higher. For now, I think this is down only, right? Until we get at least a higher high here on the 4-hour, right? And just looking at 4-hour bullish divergences, it's a meme, right? It doesn't mean anything. It didn't mean anything here. Doesn't mean anything here. Maybe, and like I said here, it had 4-hour bearish divergences the whole way. It didn't matter. Made equal lows and just pumped. All right. So no matter what happens, like this is my view, right? I think that we're gonna do something like that. I was making these comparisons here, saying that this right here was equivalent to this right here. Well, how much lower did we go here? I'm not saying it's gonna be the exact same thing, but we went down to like right above this low. So that could be comparable to bottoming, right above these lows. And then getting a bounce and then not only. But it's not gonna look the exact same. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just using an analogy. And the analogy was pretty fucking good, right? And so like in my opinion, no? I mean you have the 4 year cycle, you have weekly and monthly momentum loss. Uh, it just makes sense to expect, I don't know, let's say 35k roughly. I don't know exactly, 35k let's say. Maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower, not sure. On some type of bullish divergence on the weekly, right? And because I'm using it here for the top, for the bottom, for the peak, why not in the future, if it shows up, use it for a potential bottom, right? So this is my view, and I don't think that this is gonna end well, right? And again, like this, ignore the price chart, by the way. Just look at momentum. That's not bullish. The price has to catch up with the momentum. Yeah, it's bearish. So this is my guess. And again, like it's not like I just turned bearish or something. No, like I've been bearish here the whole way, right? Even from the like dump, right? Before it happened. Like I pointed it out. It was so obvious, right? Like I spoke about all of this. Finally time for a moon boy puke, right? And then as it was going lower, looks so fucking bad, 107k CP incoming, seal the moon boys. Why? Because it had equal lows. I wrote it here, I'm sorry, but you're not gonna get away with putting your stop loss below those lows for those weekly bearish divergence and pathetic all-time high sweeps. No, no shot, right? And like I'm saying this, like you already know how this ends. Welcome to the bear market, right? Everything is going to zero. Well, everything went to fucking zero temporarily on a wick. You ain't seen shit yet. Wait for 107k to see if that will crash the price minus 20% at least. Get how stubborn those lows for. Moonbug's about to find out, right? Like this was so obvious, so fucking obvious. Yeah. And then look at the volume. Yeah, I wonder why. Because you had like monster stop losses. It was an IQ test all along. Same thing with XRP, right? Before it went down. XRP forecasting a bear market with these shit lows. Like you can't engineer this much liquidity, right? And not have it expected to like literally just collapse. Now this went a bit too low, right? Compared to what I thought they would do instantly. Yeah. Began this trade at 2.8 on October 9th, and by October 10th, the day after, it wicked down to 117, down 60% from there. That's what happens when you do that. So like we could bounce it off of Urban's level, and I'm gonna give him full credit for this, right? Like this is his area that he's been looking at for a long time. And I'm gonna show you this as well because like he's more optimistic, I guess you could say. Uh, I just personally don't think that this is gonna be anything. Best case scenario, I believe this is a 10 to 15% bounce. I don't think it's gonna be something that gets you above the all-time high. Okay, so that's what I think. And Ethereum is still doing exactly what I thought that it was going to do, which is this right here. Yeah, genuinely believe this is what it will look like. I don't know what to tell you. I don't think it's bullish. I think we're going straight down. Well, we could mean revert in between, of course we will at some point. And like, even if you're bearish, right? Like, if I was shorting right here on, let's say, the hourly or the 4 hourly, I wouldn't want to be bearish and have my stop loss above here. You could, and you could easily get rewarded for doing that. But like, I don't think it's safe as a short seller to put your stop loss above here. This is easy liquidity, where they could just sweep it like this and then down only again. You know, that makes perfect sense. So if you're a bull, you better hope Urban is right about the equal low being important. I mean the equal low, the reclaim of the previous low here. So basically, like to articulate it in with his words, he's not here to explain it for you, but I'm just gonna use his words with a quote, right? It's that like, okay, here people at their stop losses, they got swept, right? Whoever absorbed the selling pressure here uh, is likely to, in his own words, to defend it, right? Where the manipulation began, manipulation being a sweep of the lows. Yeah. So like if this holds, I agree with Urban. It does tell you something, but I don't think it means anything other than a lower high is coming. But this could just continue going down, right? Like the weekly momentum is so weak that I don't really see any like proper reason. Like look at this, man. Yeah, you keep making higher highs, right? Look, look at these higher highs, yeah? Look at these lower highs. You should only pay attention to momentum at this point. It's momentum that's dragging this down like this. I don't think this is bullish, boys. It's like this is very basic stuff, okay? But it could bounce to 101, 103k or something, get a lower high, and then go down only, right? But this could take weeks or months, as I said as well. Anyways, that's all. Take care, peace.